Have you ever looked at a public figure and wondered how fame changed their face, body, and sense of self? In Hollywood and online culture, cosmetic procedures can promise confidence, youth, or reinvention, but the results are not always simple. Some stories are artistic, some controversial, and some are serious medical warnings. Tonight, we look beyond shock photos and ask a deeper question. When does transformation become freedom, and when does the search for perfection start asking too much? Today, Jedlica Alves. Jedlica Alves belongs first because her transformation is one of the most recognized cosmetic surgery stories in modern celebrity media. Before publicly living as Jedlica, she was widely known as the Human Ken doll, a Brazilian-British television personality whose appearance changed through years of procedures, interviews, and public curiosity. Later, after coming out as a transgender woman, she became known in headlines as a real-life Barbie figure. The important correction is her name, Jedlica Alves, not Jedlica Alves. Her story should also be told with respect. It is not simply about surgery. It is about identity, visibility, and the complicated relationship between outer appearance and inner peace. Jedlica has spoken about undergoing many procedures, including nose surgeries, facial work, body contouring, and other enhancements, with different reports giving different totals over time. At first, audiences often reacted with fascination. Some admired her willingness to remake herself so completely. Others worried about the physical risks, especially after reports of complications connected to repeated procedures. That tension is what makes her chapter so compelling. Jedlica presents transformation as personal freedom, yet her story also shows how public attention can keep moving the finish line. For older viewers, the deeper lesson is not to mock her appearance. It is to ask what happens when beauty becomes a lifelong project. Surgery may change the mirror, but it cannot always quiet the heart. Jedlica Alves' journey reminds us that confidence, identity, and self-acceptance are not measured only by the number of procedures someone survives. Sometimes the most difficult transformation is learning when enough can finally mean enough for one life. Bryan. Bryan should come near the beginning because her story is the strongest safety warning in the script. In 2009, she did not set out to become famous or radically transform herself. She wanted a refreshed appearance, the kind of small cosmetic improvement many people are told is quick, simple, and low risk. Instead, a filler procedure changed her life. The treatment reportedly involved questionable materials and techniques, and the consequences became severe. Her face swelled, hardened, and became painfully distorted. Over time, the pressure and complications affected her vision. During reconstructive treatment, she ultimately lost sight in one eye. That detail must be handled carefully because this is not entertainment gossip. It is a medical trauma. Carol withdrew from public life, avoiding friends, gatherings, and mirrors. The emotional damage matched the physical damage. For years, she lived with shame and isolation until her daughter helped her keep searching for specialists willing to attempt an extremely difficult reconstruction. Doctors at UCLA later performed multiple surgeries to remove foreign material and rebuild parts of her face. Her story belongs in this video because it changes the tone. Not every cosmetic procedure is extreme. Not every patient is reckless. Sometimes a person trusts the wrong provider, receives the wrong material, or is not fully warned about risk. Bryan became an advocate for safer and more ethical cosmetic care. For viewers over 60, her message is simple and urgent. Ask questions, check credentials, understand the risks, and remember that even a minor procedure is a medical decision involving your face, your vision, your health, and your future. Rajee Narinesingh. Rajee Narinesingh is one of the most painful stories here because her experience shows what can happen when medical access is unequal. Rajee is a transgender actress, activist, and television personality who wanted her appearance to better reflect the woman she knew herself to be. But licensed, safe, gender-affirming cosmetic care was expensive, and that financial barrier pushed her toward an underground option. The correct name is Rajee Narinesingh, not Rajee Narinesingh. She received illegal injections from O'Neill Ron Morris, known publicly as the Duchess, who was not a licensed medical professional. Reports described the injected material as unsafe and non-medical, leaving Rajee with hardened lumps, swelling, and severe facial distortion. The physical effects were visible, but the emotional injury was also profound. For years, Rajee tried to hide what had happened with makeup, wigs, and sunglasses. She later appeared on Botched, where surgeons attempted to remove some of the damaging material and improve her face. The procedures could not erase everything, but they helped restore confidence and gave her story a public purpose. This chapter should never be framed as ridicule. It is about vulnerability, cost, and desperation. When people cannot reach safe medical care, dangerous providers step into the gap. Rajee's experience warns viewers not only about illegal injections, but also about the shame that keeps victims silent. For older audiences, her story is a reminder to look past the surface. Behind a changed face may be a person who was seeking dignity, made one frightening choice, and then found the courage to survive it publicly, with hard-earned grace and honesty. Today, Sahar Tabar. Sahar Tabar belongs high because her story reveals a different kind of transformation, the kind created by the internet. When images of the Iranian influencer spread across social media, headlines claimed she had undergone dozens of surgeries to resemble Angelina Jolie. The pictures showed hollow cheeks, exaggerated lips, and an unsettling sharpness that made viewers stop scrolling. But the viral story was not fully true. Sahar, whose birth name is Fatemeh Kishvand, later said much of the look came from makeup, editing, filters, lighting, and online performance. She did have some cosmetic procedures, but the extreme Angelina Jolie version was largely a created persona. That correction matters because the internet often turns a performance into a fact before anyone checks. Her case became even more serious in 2019 when Iranian authorities arrested her over charges connected to social media activity. After that, the story was no longer just about appearance. It became about censorship, online fame, public judgment, and the danger of becoming a symbol before people understand the real person behind the account. For older viewers, Sahar's chapter may feel like a warning from a newer world. In earlier Hollywood, studios created illusions. Today, phones, filters, and viral posts can do the same thing at lightning speed. A face can become a rumor, and a rumor can become an identity. Sahar Tabar's story reminds us to pause before believing every shocking image. Sometimes what looks like extreme surgery is actually makeup, editing, pressure, and a young person learning too late how unforgiving global attention can be, in a world that rarely forgives public mistakes. Jedlica. Jedlica is often called the human Ken doll, and his chapter is very different from Jessica Alves's. The original text misspelled his name as Jedlica, but the correct name is Jedlica. Over the years, he has become known for extensive cosmetic modification, especially custom implants designed to create a sculpted, artificial, highly controlled body. What makes Justin fascinating is the way he explains his choices. He has often described cosmetic surgery not as a desperate correction, but as design. To him, the body can be shaped like art. Implants in the chest, shoulders, arms, back, and legs are not simply attempts to look younger. They are part of a personal aesthetic project. That attitude divides audiences. Supporters see autonomy. They argue that adults should have the right to alter their bodies if they understand the risks and choose freely. Critics see danger. Repeated surgery can involve infection, scarring, implant problems, anesthesia risks, and the possibility that one procedure leads to another without an obvious stopping point. For a mature audience, Justin's story raises an important question. Is the body a gift to be preserved, a canvas to be redesigned, or somehow both? His transformation does not fit the familiar Hollywood fear of aging. It is more like a lifelong sculpture shaped in public. Whether viewers admire him or feel concerned, Justin Jedlica forces the conversation beyond vanity. He asks what personal freedom means when technology allows people to redesign themselves in ways previous generations could barely imagine, and whether choice alone is enough to make every transformation wise for the future. Pixee Fox. Pixee Fox belongs here because her goal was never ordinary beauty. The original text should spell her name Pixee Fox, not Pixee Fox. A Swedish model and media figure, she became widely known for trying to create a living cartoon silhouette inspired by animated heroines, comic book proportions, and fantasy beauty rather than conventional glamour. Her transformation has included multiple cosmetic procedures, including facial work, breast augmentation, body contouring, and widely reported rib removal intended to create a narrow waist. She has also been linked to procedures or plans involving eye color changes, adding to the impression that she was designing a character as much as an appearance. Pixee has explained her body as a canvas and her transformation as personal art. That language is important because it shows that not every cosmetic surgery story is about hiding age or correcting insecurity. Sometimes the goal is fantasy, performance, and identity through design. Still, the concerns are real. Removing ribs and repeatedly altering the body can raise serious medical questions. Critics worry about long-term health, physical strain, and the message such extreme proportions send to younger viewers. Supporters answer that adults have the right to define their own beauty, even if others do not understand it. For viewers over 60, Pixee's story may feel like symbolic of how far beauty culture has moved from movie star glamour into fantasy engineering. She challenges us to ask where freedom ends and risk begins. Her appearance may look animated, but the decisions behind it are human. Desire, control, imagination, vulnerability, and the wish to become what the mind has already pictured. Martina Big. Martina Big is the most controversial chapter, and it must be written with care. Born in Germany, she first lived a more conventional life, including work connected to aviation, before entering modeling and media. She became known for extremely large breast implants, which drew international attention and made her a regular subject of tabloid fascination. But the greater controversy came later, when Martina used tanning injections and publicly claimed she identified as black. Many critics strongly rejected that claim, arguing that racial identity is rooted in ancestry, culture, history, community, and lived experience, not skin darkening or cosmetic alteration. That correction matters. A respectful script should not present race as something a person can simply acquire through appearance. Martina's supporters may frame her choices as self-expression, but the public backlash shows why this story remains sensitive. Unlike changing hairstyle or makeup, racial identity carries centuries of social meaning. For many viewers, her comments appeared to reduce that history to surface color, and that is why the reaction was so intense. Her chapter belongs in a plastic surgery video not because it offers a simple lesson, but because it reveals the limits of reinvention. Modern culture often tells people they can become anything. Martina's story asks whether that idea has boundaries, especially when personal identity crosses into another group's shared history. For older American viewers, this may be the most difficult segment. It should invite thought, not cruelty. Martina Big's transformation shows that personal freedom is powerful, but it does not erase responsibility. How we change ourselves still affects how others feel seen, respected, or dismissed. These stories are not all the same. Some are about identity, some about art, some about danger, and some about the internet turning uncertainty into spectacle. Which transformation made you think the most, and where do you draw the line between personal freedom and medical risk? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. Subscribe for more balanced stories, and remember, every changed face still belongs to a human being. First,